All tunnels lead to Skavenblight by Andy Hall and Chris Gambold. Narrated by Chimichanga. The scribe rehearsed the lines in his head. He stood out of the way, being as unobtrusive as possible, 3 levels below the dais. Between him and Fleetmaster Vrisk of Clan Scurvy were the claw captains of the clan fleets, and the vermin admirals of the bell fleets, as well as a cadre of black-furred storm vermarines, Scurvy's own breed of elite warriors, all of whom, including his huddle of scribes, mapwrights, and other academics, faced into the grand audience chamber at Spineport. A mass of clan rats and crew rats stared back at them. Whiskers twitched uneasily, and the necks were craned to sniff the air expectantly pending the arrival of their guest. The cavern was large and draped in mouldering banners displaying the claw marks of Clan Scurvy. In the west wall, a great hole was carved, forming a balcony of sorts, where one could stare out at the fetid underground harbour below and see the might of Scurvy's navy in its nest port. Yet, this time, there were only a few vessels moored. Sneak Scratchet mumbled the words under his breath while he waited.
But the map scrolls say...
He rehearsed, then cursed himself and tried again.
No. The chart says Odyssey reveal.
He cursed again. Should he say it in pure Queekish?
I have discovered.
And quickly corrected, knowing that to give himself any credit would be a fatal mistake. He tried to steady his rapidly beating heart, and then whispered again.
The chart map.
He halted and gave out an involuntary squeak. Luckily, it was low enough for no one on the upper dais to hear. An agitated voice from behind came close to his ear.
Shut up, fool. You'll get us all kill-maimed.
Hissed the tail puller. Before Sneak could react, an indolent toll reverberated around the chamber. For a brief instant, every Skaven stood stock still. Then, whiskers twitched, as thousands of verminous minds frantically tried to calculate how to take advantage of the moment. Sneak was sure a few in the audience would have been quickly murdered, a dagger in the back or throat ripped out, as clanrats sought advancement in their own small-scale games of rank and politics. The bell chimed 6 more times, and then, from behind the assembled audience, a horned figure entered the chamber. The packs quickly separated to allow the grey-furred one a clear path to the dais, where the fleet master and claw captains and Sneak waited. Any other Skaven envoy would visit a potentially hostile clan with a large retinue of his best and least treacherous minions. But Greyseers are heralds of the Council of 13, prophets of the Horned Rat, and therefore conferred special status in the Under Empire. This one chose to display such power by being accompanied by only 2 albino council guards. Less confident or inferior visitors would have much larger retinues. As the Grey Seer passed, many clanrats bowed their heads and straightened their tails in abject supplication. Some even sprang the musk of fear, to their shame. Sneak felt his own glands engorged but fought to keep control of his body. A nervous hunger nagged at his being. The Grey Seer strode down the aisle created by the separating packs, his muzzle held high. He stopped several tail lengths before the raised dais and stared up at Fleetmaster Vrisk Iron Scratch. The warlord of Clan Scurvy wore a self-satisfied grin, and his whiskers twitched excitedly, knowing that he was forcing supplication upon the Grey Seer by sitting in an elevated position. There were over 1,000 ratmen in the cavern, but no chittering, silence. All present sniffed the air, tails went erect or flapped about, betraying the thoughts of their owners. The Grey Seer and Lord of Clan Scurvy stared at each other. The silence continued unabated. The storm vermarines tightened their grips on their halberds.
7 toll chimes,
Rasped the Grey Seer, breaking the silence.
You announce a Greyseer, emissary messenger of the Horned One, enactor of the Council, with a mere 7 ring tolls.
From behind the Grey Seer, the audience leaned forward, desperate to know how their clan lord would deal with this accusation. Vrisk rose off the bone-clad throne of Clan Scurvy to his clawed feet, forcing the Grey Seer to look up even further. Vrisk returned the stare with his one good eye, the other being covered in a patch bearing the rune of scurvy.
13 rings? Do you expect us to have my bell toll equal to the great horned rat? No, Gracia Vuskrik. I think not. You dare decry, belittle an emissary of the Council of 13.
The frisson of nervous energy played across the fur of the assembled clan rats like warp power dancing around the condensers of a lightning cannon.
Vuskrik,
uttered the fleet master.
I am the council. Do not forget, Overlook, who sits squats on the 5th seat in Skavenblight. You serve the Lords of Decay. Well, now you stand before one. Disrespect, contempt, 7 tolls,
roared Vrisk.
7 ring tolls are all you are worth, yes. Not thankful, not scritta, a mere gracia, important intimidating to thrall clans, yes, but not to clan scurvy.
The fleet master sat back down on his throne. The chittering started, tails wafted frantically, the taste of violence on the thin lips of many. Maybe this rat mage was nothing to fear after all. Maybe eating the grey fur would imbue those that got a morsel with great power. A thunderclap exploded within the chamber. Green lightning streaked from the outstretched hand of the grey seer and ignited one of the unlucky clan rats standing close. The smell of burning fur filtered into the already dank air. Any thoughts on ambushing the grey seer fled the minds of the weaker rats. Vrisk remained on his throne, unmoved.
You think I come here on my own accord?
Said the rat mage. He scanned the room, daring any Skaven to meet his eyes, which glowed with power. None matched his gaze. Next, he spoke in a lower voice, forcing the assembled rats to turn their ears as they strained to hear.
I speak echo with the voice of Seer Lord Critislick.
The pack shrank back at the name. The head of the Grey Seer clan, the one that sits to the right of the great horned rat itself. Even Vrisk's whiskers gave the slightest twitch.
You have been absent resting from the council table too long, Fleet Master.
Volskrik's voice began to rise as all that surrounded him shrank back. A darkness flowed over him. His horns started to extend. Sneak had seen the Grey Seer do this before. It was a cheap trick, but one the rat mage had used to great effect throughout his career. The rats of Clan Scurvy reacted as expected.
You mentioned Skavenblight, but have not been in long time. No excuse. After all tunnels lead to Skavenblight. I have been tending to the nest fleets. The protection of the capital is my highest priority, explained
Vrisk. Uncomfortable shuffling on the dais, it saw the vermin admirals and a few claw captains start to slide away from the throne.
You are referring to the vessel ships that cruise up towards the blighted marshes? Yes. That's come close to Skavenblight? Yes. They come to protect sheer Skavenblight from impending doom. The common thing in the sky.
Volskrik silenced the fleet master with a wave of his staff.
You have missed much of latest council business, Fleet Master. From another perspective, it looks like Scurvies send fleet to invade, not protect. Incorrect, wrong,
said Vrisk. Like any corner rat, he suddenly sought to attack, to become the aggressor. The fleet master lifted his tail and sprayed a fresh coat of urine over the throne as he spoke. The vermin admirals' noses twitched as they took in the fresh scent and unsubtle message of dominance.
Careful, Gracia. You address the fleet master in his home nest port. You accuse a Lord of Decay. Your life be forfeit penalty. I do know no such thing. Make observation opinion is all. Thinking of your reputation.
Volskrik gave an ungracious smile and proffered a mocking bow.
You have missed many conclaves, ignorant of Council's new scheme. The other two have request your return to Skavenblight. The might of Clan Scurvy required.
The Grey Seer's bow, as discourteous as it was, seemed to sate Vrisk. He sat back down on his moist throne. Some of his retinue shuffled back closer to their liege, as fervently as they could.
How can Scurvy serve aid the Council?
Asked Vrisk.
You are ordered to ferry take Clan Moors to Southlands. The Council requires Warlord Headtaker. to enact, execute our will in far south.
Chittering flooded the chamber. Vrisk rose to his feet once again.
Impossible. No. The Caroline fleets of Scurvy are not passenger ship boats. Besides, they are unavailable. My vessels follow directions from another. Oh, on whose order instructions? Surely easy to countenance. After all, you are a Lord of Decay, and this is council business demands,
said Volskreek, in as relaxed way as any Skaven can attain, almost as if he expected this exact response. Vrisk's one eye dotted about, his claws opening and closing in an agitated state. Then a thought seemed to strike, and he smiled.
Wasteful, inefficient. Head taker still in Pillar City? Then much quicker for him. To march southwards over land. Go through desert. Past dead things. Past royal tomb lurkers and through jungle. Follow beard things under roads. No need to deploy clan fleets. No need for clan scary involvement. Yes.
The Grey Seer seemed thoughtful. A clan rat came close. One of the Grey Seer's council guards brought his halberd down and beheaded the creature. No one else moved. The fleet master didn't even acknowledge it.
Maybe you are right,
said Volskreek.
This is why you are missed at council meetings, fleet master. Maybe we overlook a faster, quicker route.
The Grey Seer's speech petered out, as if waiting for something. The assembled crowd fidgeted, wondering why the Grey Seer had stopped. For the first time in this exchange, the Seer's tail started to waft excitedly. He cleared his harsh throat.
If only we had expert knowledge close by.
The rat mage shot a baleful stare towards the gaggle of scribes and mapwrights at the side of the dais. Sneak gave a yelp as he jumped out of his reverie. He spluttered, and the scribes around him looked on in abject panic. Was this fool about to say something? To interject between the two most powerful Skaven in the Under Empire?
Actually,
he meekly ventured. He was suddenly in a space of his own, as Skaven around the chamber turned their heads, and those close by frantically scampered in desperation to not be near him.
Speak up!
Shouted Volskreek in both rage and relief. From his piss-stained throne, the fleet master turned his head and looked upon Sneak with a single wrathful eye.
Actually, the map scrolls reckon that a sea voyage will be quicker by no less than 3 rotation chance of Hornrat's moon.
The scribe's glands were so distended with fear must that he was sure he would explode.
Good. Excellent,
chittered the Grey Seer.
Settled then. The clan fleets will transport Warlord Headtaker to ruins of Uatek as ordered by council.
Vrisk looked at the Grey Seer in palpable rage.
I serve loyal to the 13,
he said in a whisper that carried across the whole chamber. Volskreek nodded.
Then we are done finished.
He turned, but then looked back at the lone, doomed figure of Sneak.
Come, scribe slave. You will inform Mimi of best route to chart. Yes.
Sneak scampered after the Grey Seer. The rats of Clan Scurvy looked at the scribe with hate and malice as he passed. Sneak daren't look at the fleet master. He knew if stairs could kill, and there were a few Skaven with such power, then he would be dead already. The Grey Seer, scribe, and council guard left at a less stately pace than they had entered.
Quick, fast!
Chittered Volskreek as they moved into a tunnel beyond the audience chamber. The walk turned into a run. Sneak scampered to Volskreek's side.
Merciful master, thank you for saving Mimi.
The Grey Seer responded with a vicious flick of his claw to the scribe's head without breaking a step.
You are the fool. The only reason you still live, Breathe, is that I have not finished with you. Cost Mimi greatly to covertly place you in Scurvy's map scrawler packs. All for that one moment, and you nearly ruin it. 13,000 apologies, most masterful of masters. Not enough. I will punish you properly when we're out of this warren. But Master Lord, you Grey Seer, none would dare threaten you. Wrong as always. 7th roll. Ambush attack imminent. The only way Risk can stop orders now is to deny they were ever delivered. He must kill us before we reach Skavenblight. Well, murder slay Mimi. He'll want to take you alive.
Sneak finally sprayed the musk of fear. The rats of Clan Scurvy flooded the chamber. Volskreek sent scorching green fire roaring down the tunnel, immolating at least 30 and sending the others scampering away.
Come.
Ordered Volskreek. The scribe and the pair of council guards followed. From above, crew rats dropped down and attacked. The albino storm vermin wielded their serrated halberds, making short work of Scurvy's foot sloggers. Although one managed to get in striking distance of the Grey Seer, Sneak cowered behind his master, even as the rat mage produced a dagger from under his robes and embedded it into the crew rat's face.
Do not stop.
The small retinue moved on and into a wider chamber.
Perhaps a larger, bigger entourage would have been more appropriate,
ventured Sneak. The Grey Seer rounded on him.
Do not doubt my genius,
he hissed. Enemy rats scuttled into the large chamber ahead of them. Volskreek chittered to himself. Sneak heard words that hurt his ears. The Grey Seer's chanting grew.
I call for a crack.
He spat. The ground heaved, the floor under the clan rats fell away, and the vermin of Clan Scurvy quickly followed. Thousands fell into the void, nearly emptying the entire cavern of enemies. Nearly. Then the storm vermines came. They dashed across the crevice with astonishing speed, homing in on the Grey Seer and his tiny retinue. One chasm remained between them and their prey. Volskreek looked about frantically.
Loyal council guard, you serve me well. Quick, step forward. God protect while I conjure mighty spell hex. You will be invincible. Great reward shall follow. Yes.
The two council guards plumped up their chests and leapt towards the advancing storm vermines. Volskreek turned to the scribe and grabbed him roughly by the arm. Both mage and minion disappeared with a bamf. Sneak sniffed the tunnel warily. They were in a narrow, roughly gnawed horizontal shaft and seemed to be alone since their sudden smoke-wreathed appearance. Such was the tunnel's limited space, the Grey Seer had to crouch and struggled to keep his staff upright. A frustration he took out on Sneak by constantly cuffing him.
Halt your nose, scribe slave. We are alone. Secret tunnel passage, all to my design.
As they scampered along the cramped tunnel, Sneak knew he was risking further chastisement, but spoke anyways.
Glorious Master Sire, I have a curious question. Should I explain enlighten how far below your station it is to question Mimi?
But instead of issuing a painful admonishment, the Grey Seer's ears flicked forward, perhaps sensing an opportunity to gloat.
I still need to decide your punishment for nearly failing Mimi in front of the Fleet Master. Which clan will you despise hate being attached to the most? I wonder. Pestilence or Moors?
Volskreek thought for a second, then looked back at Sneak.
Ask your question then, full thrall. Fleetmaster Risk was correct. Greatest of mage lords. It would have been faster to have Moors move south on land. Why waste misuse time on sea?
Volskreek looked upon his servant with utter contempt.
Call yourself a scribe? I have known rat ogres with more brain wits. If we not in rush hurry, I'd have you flay yourself. Very sorry, master. You are right correct. Plan should go ahead. Do not presume, wretch. My scheme plan will force Clan Scurvy and their sponsor patron to redirect vessel ships and abandon their ambitions on Skavenblight. It also forces Clan Moors to weaken their hold on the Eight Peaks, sending many of their hordes south. I please gain favor with 10 Lords of Decay. My status standing rises higher, yes.
Gloated Volskreek.
Much deserved, master.
Sneak narrowed his eyes and risked a cunning glance. He steeled himself for what he was about to say. The scribe would have been too craven before, but he had just corrected a Lord of Decay. He was a brave rat, and knowledge was power.
It's a pity, my master, you do not know who this patron sponsor of Clan Scurvy is.
Volskreek hissed at the scribe in anger.
I will stretch your tail long tight for that remark, scribe slave. Of course I know who it is.
The Grey Seer's anger suddenly turned to a cunning joy.
A long time before Thanquil dare show his whiskers before council now.
Volskreek chittered. The pair came to a branch in the passage. Sneak stammered, unsure which way to go.
This way.
The Grey Seer pointed.
So wise, clever master. You know all routes under Empire.
The Grey Seer struck the scribe with his staff.
You are a fool. I do not, nor do I care. Haven't you been listening? It matters not which route we take go. All tunnels lead to Skavenblight.